4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for being here for the official weigh-in for UFC 289, Nunes versus Aldana, live from Rogers Arena. Saturday night on pay-per-view, and we begin with one of the fighters around whom this fight card was built, the number 5 ranked.
What's up, everyone? Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. We got Irene Aldana coming up to weigh in first here at the UFC 289 weigh-ins. Let me know if you can't hear me, guys. Tested everything out. Everything should be good.
135 pounds, the official weight for Irene Aldana.
There you go, 135 even for Irene Aldana. By the way, this is my first time doing these weigh-ins with commentary, so let me know if there's any issues in the chat. So Raquel Pennington weighing in for the backup right now. And like I said, I'll do my best to answer your questions here, but we're just going to wait and see if Raquel Pennington makes weight here. $134.5 for Raquel Pennington. This is not at Rogers Arena. This is at the the Westin Bayshore Hotel. All right, Blake Bilder coming up next to weigh in. Big reception here for Blake Bilder. Coming in on the weigh-ins. What's up, Manish? How you doing? Okay, Blake Bilder about to weigh in here, guys. Wait to see what his weight is here. $145.5 for Blake Bilder. Okay, we got Diana Belbita coming up. Post your questions in the chat here, guys. I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I can.
Official weight 114.5 for Diana Belbita.
114.5 for Diana Belbita, and then we got Amanda Nunes coming up next here. Man, things are rolling along real quickly here. NKS 432. Funny how she isn't guaranteed a title shot for making weight, but Colby is. No. It's if she missed weight that Irene would not get to fight for a title. So Irene made weight. She's going to fight for the title.
UFC Women's Bantamweight and Featherweight Champion, the Lioness Amanda Nunes.
Okay, Amanda Nunes up there right now. $135 even for Amanda Nunes. The champ makes weight. Main event is official. All right, here's a big one, guys. Charles Oliveira coming up next. He's wearing the
Is the #1 ranked lightweight contender, former UFC lightweight champion and future Hall of Famer Charles Dvorak Oliveira.
Here we go, Charles Oliveira, and big reception here for Oliveira as he's about to make his way to the scale. He's wearing his signature sunglasses here. And Oliveira, big smile on his face. Here, we're going to get the official weight here. Here we go. Here we go. 154 for Oliveira. Look at that. There's a lot of people talking smack about him missing weight. I'm going to talk about some of those people after the fact. But, yeah, Oliveira makes weight. All these weigh-in experts the last couple days I've seen, oh, Charles looks sucked in. He might not make weight. Well, he just made it. He made 154. I think that was a statement probably for him to do that as opposed to just making 155. So credit there to Oliveira. All right, we got Kyle Nelson up next, the Canadian. Going to be taking on Blake Bilder. Kyle, of course, did try his hand at lightweight, but UFC kind of forced his hand for him to fight at featherweight. He's going to be taking on Blake Bilder this Saturday. I don't think Amanda retires after this. 145 for Kyle Nelson, who makes weight. Guys, I'll get to your questions in a sec. These weigh-ins are zooming through, which is great for me. Always good to get in and out of here a little bit.
All right, next fighter to the stage, competing in the women's flyweight division, Jasmine Jasudavicius.
There we go, Jasmine Jasudavicius up next. Right, let's see if Jazz hits the mark here. Of course, Jazz used to fight at 115 a couple years ago, so 125 a much better weight class. She's a pretty big flyweight as it is. As is Miranda. I saw both of them in the hotel this week. 125 and a quarter for Jasmine Jasudavicius. Yeah, sorry earlier, guys, about the time difference. I said 8 a.m. Pacific. I meant 9. So obviously you guys are watching this, which is great.
The number 15 ranked UFC women's flyweight contender, Miranda Maverick.
Yeah, Raquel might still get the title shot here. We don't know. Amanda wasn't sure yesterday. NKS, so that's kind of what I'm saying. And I don't think Amanda retires. All right, guys, no arguing here. Miranda Maverick about to step on the scale here, or is stepping on the scale. $125.5 for Miranda Maverick on the scale. Yeah, I think Miranda wins too by decision. She's a really good fighter, man. Very good fighter. Sorry, guys, my voice is a little bit off. I've never done like quiet commentary like this before. I guess good practice if I ever want to be like a golf commentator. Okay, David Dvorak about to step on the scale here. Again, this is going super fast. I love this, man. I've had weigh-ins where you're having to wait like 5-10 minutes and then it goes like way longer. So. All right, David Dvorak about to get his weight read here. Hey, NKS, you guys stop arguing here. 125.5 for David Dvorak here. Okay, so after David Dvorak, we've got Nate Landwehr and Eryk Anders. So I'll let you guys know about their weight. I have a really good view here today, guys, because I'm right next to where the fighters are coming out. So, and Chris Curtis here too. Nate the Train. Paul, we were talking earlier this week in the chat about Nate being a little bit bigger than I thought he was. Not weight-wise, just that he's a big featherweight, but we'll see if he makes weight here. $145.25 for Nate the Train. All right, up next, we've got Eryk Anders. Eryk's, if you guys remember, has fought at both light heavyweight and middleweight, so we'll see how the weight cut is from here. I believe he's missed weight before, so we'll see how he looks. He's a big guy, man. Very big. See how he looks there. Of course, Eryk's first camp here with the MMA lab going into this fight, so we'll see if that pays off in this one as he takes on Marc-Andre Barriault this Saturday. Just waiting to get the weight here. Keep your questions coming, everyone. You guys got to stop talking about Colby. Come on. 184 3/4 for Anders, so he comes in a little bit under. That's interesting. Good for Anders.
All right, next athlete
Here we go. Chris Curtis up next. He's you guys can't see it here. I can't move my camera over, but Chris is actually dancing right now. This is pretty funny. Here he comes. Look at this. This is great. I don't know what song that is. The Action Man, looking to make a statement on Saturday, taking on Nassourdine Imavov. $185.25 for David, for Chris Curtis. Here we go. Mike Malott about to come up next. Big reception here for Mike Malott. He's looking great. Yeah, a lot of people excited for Mike Malott this Saturday. Yeah, this is going really fast, which is great. Here you go. Mike Malott stepping on the scale. $169.5 for Mike Malott. Look at that. Tilt that camera up a little. Proper Mike makes weight here. By the way, my streamers, I got to tell you, we got some Canadian royalty here next to me. Got the OG, Shawnee Mack from Full Send. We got Aaron Bronstetter from TSN ahead of me here. Great crowd out here for the weigh-ins. A lot of people here. Here we go. Aiemann Zahabi about to weigh in with his brother, the famed Firas Zahabi. See how he looks. Pick'em MMA saying Malott by first round. Listen, Malott's been playing this week perfectly. All he's got to do is win on Saturday, but he has stolen the show this week for sure. All right, Aiemann Zahabi about to weigh in. Let me tilt that camera down a little bit if I can. $135.75 for Aiemann Zahabi. So there you go. Aiemann Zahabi looking to make some noise here.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the women's strawweight division, Maria Oliveira.
Maria Oliveira to the scale right now. She's going to be taking on Diana Belbita this Saturday. Not Ariel Helwani weighing in, although that's true. Aiemann Zahabi does look a little bit like him. Helwani's a lot bigger than Aiemann Zahabi. Okay, anyways, Maria Oliveira about to weigh in here. 115.5 for Maria Oliveira, who makes weight. By the way, I know the stream's a little bit off as I'm watching it here, so if I'm answering questions a little bit later, that's why. Just waiting for a break here, and then we'll be able to answer some questions. Okay, so Steve, I forget how you pronounce his last name, guy making his debut. He's about to weigh in right now. And then after that is Aori Qileng, about to weigh in with Eddie Cha, and then Marc-Andre Barriault behind him. So this is going super smooth. Also in the distance, Beneil Dariush as well. So right now it's Steve, then Aori Qileng, then Marc-Andre Barriault, and then Beneil Dariush. So Charles already made weight. Beneil's never missed weight. I'm sure he's going to make weight here. 125.5. Steve Erceg is how you say it. Interesting. Erceg. I got to remember that. So Steve Erceg making his UFC debut on Saturday against David Dvorak. He was supposed to be Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell injured out of the fight. And now we get Steve Erceg. Aori Qileng. $135.5 even for Aori Qileng.
Our next fighter to the scale, competing on middleweight division, Marc-Andre Barriault.
Marc-Andre Barriault about to weigh in right now. So we got him, Beneil Dariush, and then Nassourdine Imavov. So Barriault getting up there. Let me just tilt that camera up a little bit here, guys. Paul from the Wonder Years. Great comparison there, by the way. All right, waiting to hear the weight on Barriault. 185 even for Marc-Andre Barriault. Okay, Beneil Dariush about to step to the scale right now. He's looking a little sucked in, if I'm being honest here. You'll see what I mean when he comes.
One of the best lightweights in the world, the 4th ranked contender, Beneil Dariush.
Yeah, it looks like it was a tough cut. $156 for Beneil Dariush, just makes the limit. So it's interesting. Dariush coming in at 156. And as Anik mentions there, co-main event is set.
All right, next fighter to weigh in this morning, the 12th ranked UFC middleweight contender in the other half.
Nassourdine Imavov about to weigh in right now.
Nassourdine
Imavov about to weigh in here, as Anik says. Got to make sure I get that right, pronouncing his last name. He is a big dude, man. Like I said, I saw him at the hotel the other day. There we go, tilting the camera up there. Yeah, I think DC's comments on Miller were dumb. Miller is a Hall of Famer. I'm with you guys there. Don't worry. 185.5 for Imavov, so that fight is official now. All right, guys, looks like we finally have a break. So I'm going to get to some questions here, guys. Sorry, I've been neglecting you. It's not that I've wanted to do that. So I'm going to go through all the questions and see the ones that I didn't start. What do we got here? I think I answered that question about Amanda retiring. I don't think it happens. What else we got here? Got some Nate the Train comments. .6'6", 125. No, he's not that big. Okay, good time to answer questions, everyone, because, again, we got a little bit of a break. Let's see. Why is DC so petty? I don't know, guys. I'll let you guys decide on that. I'm not a big DC guy. You know, I've never actually have interviewed him. I've just on media scrums and stuff. But some of his takes, not a fan. But that's going to happen. You know, we're not all supposed to agree. Dariush looking kind of queasy, or maybe it's just my eyes. No, he looks sucked in for sure. But again, I think it's funny, guys. And I know maybe I'm a little biased towards Charles. You guys know I like Charles Oliveira a lot. But people were talking so much about this weigh-in thing. Like I saw Lucas Tracy do a video on this. Oh, Charles, is he going to – I'm sure he's going to miss weight. It's like off what? He missed weight one time as a title challenger by like – and that was the whole Texas situation. Since he's been at 155, he's been pretty consistent with making weight. And if you wanted to say who looked worse on the scale today, to me for sure it was Beneil Dariush. But like I said, coin flip fight tomorrow night between Dariush and Oliveira. To me, the people's main event. I can't wait for that fight. That alone is worth the price of the pay-per-view, in my opinion, everyone. Really excited for that one. Florida winning the cup. No, I don't still. I mean, that was great that they got the OT winner last night. What was it, Carter Verhaeghe? And but I don't think they'll come back. Vegas is too good. I think Vegas might win the series. Well, actually, no. I guess it's 2-1 now. I think Vegas will probably win Game 4. I would think. Is there anyone else you're supposed to see on the weigh-ins? Yeah, there's still. Let me just have a quick look at the list of who hasn't weighed in yet. The main and co-main event are official. Let me just look down the list here, and I'll let you guys know. By the way, how's the internet connection here? Because it's looking a little shaky on my end, but hopefully it's good for you guys. It's not as fast as I'm used to. So still to weigh in, we need Dan Ige, Adam Fugitt. Dan Ige and Adam Fugitt, that's it, right? I'm going to actually put that tweet out here. Okay, let's get back to your questions. Let's see what we got here. What do we got? Jim Miller, third ballot Hall of Famer. Jim Miller's a Hall of Famer for sure. Have you tried Prime? I've not yet. I saw it in the store yesterday. I thought about buying it, but I'm like, nah, I'm okay for now. I'm not a big fan of I don't drink a lot of energy drinks or pop or anything. I'm just not really drawn to it, but I will try it. Maybe I'll review it. Should I review that for the channel? Is that review worthy? Or because it's Jake Paul or Logan Paul or whatever, people are like, nah, that's a waste of time. But they're a UFC sponsor. I probably should try it. Maybe I'll do that in another video. Hey, James, do you think Elise Reed could take out Weili Zhang and move up to take on Moreno? Okay, anyways, this guy's trolling the chat. What's your best underdog in the prelim? I think Chris Curtis wins round 3 KO. Curtis would be one I would be looking at as an underdog. Another underdog I think has a potential in their respective fight is Aiemann Zahabi, I think, is an underdog. I think he could pull it off against Aori Qileng, but we'll see. No, Florence, Zach, David Dvorak's already weighed in. No one missed weight, Leo. Video is excellent, better than junkier MMA fighting. Love to hear that. Honestly, if it were between Benny and Charles, as much as I love Charles, I'd hope Benny takes it because he hasn't had that title shot. But given how he looks, I don't know, maybe it's just my eyes. I will say this, and I've said this before. Don't put too much stock into weigh-ins. We've seen guys miss weight. We've seen people have terrible cuts and put on good performances. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but I know it has happened before. I wouldn't put too much stock into that. I still think it's a 50-50 fight tomorrow. But you guys know I'm going Charles. Yeah, I can't believe we're down to 2 now either. UFC 285 was actually pretty fast as far as the weigh-ins go when I went to that, so that was great. Didn't realize Irene hasn't made 135 in 2 years. She looked drawn, but I'm sure she'll be completely fine. She didn't look that bad, actually. Again, I think the worst person on the scale so far was Beneil. But still think he's, I don't think that's going to affect him too much tomorrow. I think he's still going to be great. Good morning, Izzy. How are you? Keep the questions coming, everyone. Just waiting for Danny Gay and Adam Fugitt. This is going to be a quick stream by the sounds of it. This is fun, man. I love doing this. So I finally figured out how to hook up my microphone. So if you guys remember at 285, I was only able to give you guys sort of the crowd audio for the weigh-ins. For this one, I bought an adapter, an XLR to USB adapter for all you nerds out there. And I was able to hook up my actual microphone I use for my interviews that I'm using right now. So that's how you're able to hear me. So really happy with the setup. I actually have 2 mics hooked up. I have this mic and I have another sort of desktop mic that's sitting on here to get the crowd audio. Didn't plug into the UFC media box just because I wouldn't have been able to use the mic this way. I felt like this audio was more important, you guys being able to hear me, than plugging into the actual box of them just announcing the weights, which I can say anyways, right? Did you notice yesterday Dana's answer about title shot after Beneil's Charles? He has no clue what's next, so it's probably Justin Poirier. I think if Oliveira wins, it will be the winner of Justin and Poirier. But if Dariush wins, I still think he'd get it. Has Charles made weight? Yes, he has. He came in at 154. Charles Gaethje versus Gaethje missed weight and obliterated Gaethje. Exactly. But again, that was, people bring that up as, and I'm not singling you out here, a half-breeder at all. But a lot of people are like, oh, Charles has such a hard time making weight. That was that card that had the weird Texas weigh-in misses, and there was some school of thought that the scales were off that day or something. So, yeah, I know he missed weight for that fight, but ever since coming up to 155, he's pretty much, I think for the most part, did he miss weight against Kevin Lee? I got to double-check this. I don't know. I just feel like the weigh-in thing with Oliveira is so overblown. Yes, in the past, he clearly had trouble making 145, but in general, he's looked pretty good. Yeah, he made weight against Kevin Lee. He's made weight against Tony Ferguson, made weight against Chandler, made weight against Poirier. For Gaethje, he came in at 155.5. That's not a bad miss. That would have been a regular weigh. That would have counted as a weigh-in, official weigh-in if it was not for a title, right? Because you get a 1 pound allowance. Jared Gordon, he made weight. Nick Lentz at 155, he made weight. David Tamer, I forgot he fought David Tamer. That was 154.5. So you have to go all the way back to him fighting. Is it Will Brooks? No, Will Brooks. He made 152. He had the catch weight with Ricardo Lamas and weighed in at 155 for that. The Pettis fight, he made weight for that. Yeah. Anyways, I could go through all of Charles's resume here, but I think the weigh-in thing with him has been vastly overblown. What else? Hello, Sue Ledger. How are you? Did you see Lachlan take take that knee last night. I did. Lockney. Yeah, I did. That was crazy. Listen, the sport's unpredictable. That's why we love it, man. Anything can happen. I feel for Brendan Lockney, but what an opportunity there for, is it Jesus Pinedo? I think that's his name. So you're sitting live right now, correct? Yes, I am here. This is not a fake weigh-in scheme. Okay, Dan Ige about to make his way to the scale.
All right, next athlete to weigh in, competing live on pay-per-view, the 13th ranked UFC featherweight contender, Dan 50K Ige.
Dan 50K Ige about to weigh in here, guys. Okay. Dan's always made weight. Don't think it'll be an issue for him. All right, Dan Ige. Let's just tilt that down a little bit, guys. By the way, my camera's like really high up, so I'm kind of having to like reach for my camera arm here to just get everything in frame. And I can't zoom in. Well, I can zoom in, but it would require me to get up from my desk, which I don't want to do right now. So let's see. Dan Ige, we're waiting to hear if he makes weight. 145.5 for Dan Ige. His fight with Nate Landwehr is official, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. Charles F. Bronson says PFL is a fun gimmick. Well, hey, listen, I think what PFL is doing is fine. You got to do something different. And, you know, the fact that they're doing like a tournament format as opposed to, or a season format and playoff format as opposed to regular MMA, I think is a good thing. It's better for everyone. All right, Adam Fugitt, the last man to weigh in here. Big fight against Mike Malott on the pay-per-view. Keep the questions coming, everyone, by the way. This is a lot of fun. I'm loving this. I'll probably stick around a little bit after if you guys want. And we can chat a little bit if you want. Maybe I'll put the camera on my face here. I don't know. We could do that if you guys want to see my big, ugly head. I don't mind staying on here a little bit longer here for you guys. Again, Adam Fugitt, the last one to weigh in. All right, let's keep the questions coming, everyone. Mike Malott's going to be a star. Well, Mike Malott's got to win on Saturday if he wants to do that, but everything is lining up quite nicely for him. I don't know what you guys thought yesterday at the presser or at Media Day, but he has stolen the show this week. He is living up to, not living up, but he's like thriving in this environment of all the media attention, doing the MMA Hour. He's done a lot of local media here as well. He did the thing with me in the hotel room with playing NHL 94. Like, he's just soaking this all in, and you can genuinely tell he's excited. So there's a lot of potential here for him on this card. King James says Oliveira's missed weight 8 times. Yes, but that was mainly at 45. How many times has he missed weight in the last 3-4 years? He hasn't. That's what I'm getting at. Which of these fights you bet on? I have a preview show on this channel. You can watch it there and see who I'm betting on. Since Valentina's in Canada for Q&A, do you think they will announce her fight with Grasso? I'm not sure. PFL card was fun last night, but let's be honest, none of these guys are top 15 or top 20. That's probably true. Brendan Lockney is the reason why top-ranked guys don't give others opportunities. Exactly, like Sean Strickland fighting Abus Magomedov. Again, people have a big issue with that fight, people have an issue with my take on that fight, and they're like, oh, watch, Abus is going to finish him. Abus might be able to beat him. There's no issue with that. I'm not naive to that. It's just that he doesn't deserve it. It's as simple as that. He does not deserve a fight against Sean Strickland. And then people say, well, if you can beat him, doesn't it mean that he deserves it? Well, no. That's why you have, like, anything can happen in a given fight. That's why you have rankings. That's why you have matchmaking. That's why you have to build up your resume a bit, right? It's like, you don't just get, if we're in the NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks don't get to play the Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup final because, they might be able to beat them. That's not how it works. Entire card made weight. No, we're still waiting for Adam Fugitt. He's the last fighter. Is Malott the third coming of GSP? No. He's great. The thing with him is he's a little bit older, right? Malott's like in his 30s. And I don't know. Like, I think there's still, the way he's going, it's so far so good, like A+ sort of performance so far. But we need some, we got to see how he looks against a ranked opponent. And then from there, we got to see how he looks like. That was the thing with Ian Gary and Jack Della Maddalena as well, right? Like, mind you, and they're both younger than Malott is. But, we saw Gary get a, impressive win over a ranked guy in Daniel Rodriguez. Although I don't know if Rodriguez was in the rankings at the time. But either way, that was a good win for him. And then you saw Jack defeat Randy Brown. Now, I guess Randy Brown not in the rankings, but close to the rankings. So, I mean, those are guys where, okay, we know they're going on the right trajectory. If Mike beats Adam Fugitt, we're still not going to get any answers. We need him to fight that ranked opponent. So that's why this is the progression. You slowly build him up, and I think the UFC knows that, and that's where they're putting him on the pay-per-view here. Since Hamzat's rumored banned in the USA, why don't they make him fight in Canada? It's been too long. If you think the US is strict, if you think the UFC or the US, if you think the US is strict about letting people into the country, look at Canada. If you have a DUI in the US, they won't let you into Canada. So it's just as strict, if not more strict than that. I hope Abus loses. I hope he doesn't lose, but I just think that, like, again, if this guy's name was Tim Smith and it wasn't Abus Magomedov, there'd be a lot more people upset with this. But you know how the Dagestani fan base is. They think every one of their fighters is going to be a champion, and they get pissed off if you even remotely criticize something about them, and then they call you a hater. It's it's the typical victimhood playbook that they like playing. So I'm not surprised that people are upset with my take of that he doesn't deserve it. If it was Sean, again, it would be like if Sean O'Malley fought Terrion Ware and then fought like Cruz in his second fight. Way more people would be upset about that, right? Are you going to be at the Q&A as well? No, I'm not. Unfortunately not. I got to do a radio hit after this, and then I got some other stuff to do. I got to be a dad, but I'll be at the event tomorrow. I'm not doing as much this week as I would for normal pay-per-views just because I got other stuff going on, but for next month for UFC 290, I'll be at pretty much everything. Although, not necessarily, because there may be a chance I get a booth at Radio Row on the Friday and Saturday. So I'll be at the weigh-ins, I think, on Friday, but after that I'll be doing my interviews the rest of the day type thing. Does Jose Young got that cool earring on? I don't know if you're trying to be sarcastic, but yeah, he is. I don't get why people care how people look, especially if you're a dude. It's kind of weird. I remember when Yuri came in and beat top guys and Volkanen took his spot. Yeah, same sort of thing with Yuri. Like, I remember at the time as well being like, probably doesn't deserve this. And I don't know if I made a video on it, but I certainly, because I wasn't really making videos like that back then, but I definitely was like, okay, he's only got a couple fights and he's getting this opportunity. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Although, the one argument we make with Yuri, he was a champion for Ryzen, right? Abus wasn't a champion in PFL. He was a finalist, but then he got knocked out in 30 seconds. So it's a little bit different. That's all I'm saying. How many terrible judges scorecards will we have tomorrow night? Hopefully none. I don't know what the judging's been like here as of late. I'd have to go look at some of the BFL cards they've had. James, good to see you at live events. I'm going to keep tuning in when you do these. Yeah, I'll be doing one next month for UFC 290 as well. Are you going to be at the ceremonial weigh-ins? I'm not, no. You guys got to look at it from my perspective content-wise. Like, if I go to the ceremonial weigh-ins, I'm there. I can't ask, I guess the Q&A I can ask questions, but I might get a question or two in, and then I'm going to be recording the whole thing, and then I'm uploading it to the channel like everyone else. Content-wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'd rather use that time better. It's like yesterday. Like, rather than going to the presser, I did stuff for my YouTube channel. I got the pros picks up, all that stuff. So that's it's all about using my time the best way I can, because otherwise it's just a rat race of who's going to upload what press conference sooner and all that stuff, right? That's basically how it works. Keep the questions coming, everyone. Again, still waiting for Adam Fugitt to weigh in. Everyone else has weighed in. If you missed it, Charles Oliveira has made weight, 154. He was sort of one that I heard a lot of people talking about ahead of this fight, and he made weight at 154. So, again, I'll say it here. Maybe I'm a little biased towards Charles. I do like him a lot, but thought a lot of people were kind of being unfair on him or whatever. And look, he may lose tomorrow night. He's the underdog. He's supposed to lose, according to the betting odds, right? But a lot of people making up all these things. Oh, we didn't watch the fight with Islam. Who cares? Every fighter's different. There's not an exact science to every single fighter when it comes to fights, you know? No need to overanalyze these things, I think. Because there's fighters that I know that don't watch tape, any tape at all. They rely on their coaches. Are they losing fights? It's tough to say, right? What do you see? Do you drive home after this? No, I got to do a radio hit in town here with one of the local stations. I'm going in the studio for that, and then I'll go home. My kids got sports day at school, so I'm going to try and get the tail end of that. And then I think we're doing like some family stuff after. So again, that's what it comes down to. It's like, am I going to spend all that time hanging out, watching the ceremonial weigh-ins when I can just watch it later, or upload this video and, you know, like everyone else? Like, it's just, to me, it's not really worth it. If there was like one-on-one things today where I could do like a one-on-one interview, yeah, I would go do that. But this whole rat race of like, we got to upload the same stuff as everyone else, I try and avoid that as much as I can. And even though like that's what media day is, at least, you know, there's more opportunity to ask more questions, because media day you can ask as many questions as you want for the most part. Although I don't, you know, I'm not like I'm asking like 5 questions in a row. It's usually like 3 questions and I'm out. Any tension between you and Morgan after calling out how you feel in this question? He's not here. And again, it was no disrespect mentioned. It's just that was my one critique with him. And I don't think he watches any of my stuff anyways. The Rogers Arena security didn't let me bring my flag into the arena. Oh, that's too bad. Calling it right now, the judges will rob Strickland and give Abus the win. I mean, it might go to the... Actually, I think it might go to the scorecards, actually. Strickland's tough to take out. Which non-Canadian UFC fighter is getting over there? Oh, you mean is like getting a good reception? Oliveira, for sure. Just me, or did you gather that when Amanda was talking about her former ATT coaches in training, someone who could be potentially a future opponent, she meant Kayla Harrison? No. I asked her about Kayla, actually, the other day, about her losing her first fight. I don't think they're ever going to fight. Kayla's coming off a loss. Kayla's not even going to fight this year, right, because PFL's not doing a pay-per-view. That was like one of the rules with her contract, is that I think she has to fight on the pay-per-view or something. That's my understanding anyways. Could be wrong about that. But that's why she's not fighting. So, I mean, she's coming off a loss. Amanda's in the UFC. Amanda's probably got maybe, if I had to guess, she's probably got maybe 2 fights left. I don't think her and Kayla will ever fight. Whoever loses between Oliveira and Benny tomorrow, I'll be heartbroken, loss, lose-lose situation. I agree. Listen, I'm a big Benny fan too. Like, I think him winning would be unreal. It would be awesome. But you never know. By the way, I haven't even mentioned it once on this stream. Hit that like button, everyone, if you like this content. I don't know how many people are doing the commentary thing this morning, but happy to do it. Again, just waiting for Adam Fugitt to weigh in, and he's the last one left. No sign of him so far. I'll let you know when we do see him. Press conferences are kind of lame, honestly, makes media day cool. Yeah, I'm with you. That's how I feel, too. I wish, if you guys remember back in the day, they used to do the open workouts where they do the media scrums after. I didn't mind that. And then they would do the media day where it was one-on-ones. I miss those days. That was way better, because then it's individual, right? Because here's a good example. What if you come up with a really good question, okay? And then some other outlet can take that question and use it for their own headline or own article, right? So it's like, who did the work, you know? And granted, I can do the same thing. But I like the idea of being able to do one-on-ones. That's a big appeal for me going to UFC 290. While it's not as strong of a card, in my opinion. Like, I think 291, I think, is a bit stronger in terms of name value. There's the opportunity for me to do one-on-ones there because of the Radio Row thing. So that alone is worth it for me. And International Fight Week's just fun anyways. There's a lot of fighters in town. Curtis Blades, I think I told you guys, is going to be in town. Him and I have already talked about playing Mortal Kombat together. So that's something that hopefully I will get done there as well. Y'all need to join the Discord. Everyone feels like family there. Yeah, well said, Jordan. Yeah, Discord's awesome. We're up to 60 people now in the chat. We just had someone else. We had someone else join yesterday. It's a lot of fun out there. So if you guys want a little bit more of what I'm up to, if you want to join a really cool community with, I don't need trolls or, you know, people just acting dumb, join the Discord. You just have to sign up for the Patreon to do that. Patreon link's in the description of this video. And if you ever have any issues, sign up for Patreon. Just send me a message on social media. But it's pretty straightforward. Patreon.com/LynchOnSports, like it says on the stream here. Will you be at the after party GSP is hosting? No. I'll be at home looking after my kids. You can only bring a pride and trans flag, Canada or US. Is that true? I don't even know if they can bring that. PFL show was fun last night. I got to catch up to it. Rip Brennan Shaw. What happened to Brennan? Have they cut down on media obligations since COVID? No, they just changed the way they do it. So now they just do media day as just like kind of like one fighter goes up there and we all ask questions. But before, they used to sit on chairs and used to like line up and interview them. Still can't believe Brendan Loughnane lost that quick in his PFL fight. It happens, man. Listen, you fight long enough. Everyone's got to, everyone has a puncher's chance of winning a fight. It's like Pena beating Nunes. Matt Serra beating GSP. It can happen. It wasn't that big of an upset, personally, but it can happen. James, that's what MMA Julie did with your question on Nunes. Who's MMA Julie? I don't know who that is. I miss Conor and Khabib press conferences. Unforgettable moment. I agree. How's it going, Brandon? In your opinion, what do you think could be done to help with the poor judging in fights? I think just accountability. I think, if a judge could come out and explain their scorecard. I've seen people say like, oh, they're going to be too emotional after the fight. Who cares? We interview fighters right after they've won or lost. How's that any different? I think that would help give people a better understanding. And I think I wouldn't mind open scoring either, but that's just me. There's no... locker room, you're saying MMA junkie took my question. Yeah, exactly. But it's all good. I mean, I'm taking stuff that other people have asked too. But that's, again, I'd rather just do my own work. You know what I mean? Finish, opponent, or Vegas bookies determine the winner. That's true, King James. By the way, it's been a while since I've heard from you, King James. Hope all is well. Nowadays, you're so live. It's great to watch. You're damn hard working. I appreciate that, Bella. Yeah, no, I love doing the lives. I wish I could live stream every day. Maybe eventually I'll get to a point where I can do that. But for now, still got to do my interviews and all my other stuff. Don F. James live at the weigh-ins. You got it. Thoughts on Marias retiring after his loss? Stuck around way too long. Way too long. That guy's going to have some damage post-fight that he's going to have to deal with. It's just sad, man. He was one of the baddest fighters in the UFC. It was crazy. All right, we're back answering more questions after that temporary little break. Can I get an all Canada party for the win? I don't know if... okay, let's look at the card here. I think Zahabi can win. Okay, so I think Bilder's going to beat Kyle Nelson. So no on that. I think Aori Qileng and Zahabi's a 50-50 fight, but I think Aori Qileng's going to win, and I think Miranda's going to beat Jasmine. I think Barriault will win. I think Malott will win. So I don't think all Canada will win. I'm just being honest here. Listen, I love all the Canadians on this card, but got to be a little bit realistic with the picks. Oh, I missed Joey's question. Sorry, buddy. How far is the arena from your house, James? It's about 40 minutes around there. Took me 50 minutes to get here today, but that's just because of, where this is located is a little, it's like maybe 20-minute drive from the arena. So it's a little bit further, I guess, west from the arena. But yeah, to go straight from here to the arena is about 40 minutes for me, driving. What else do we have? Will you be at the fights live tomorrow? Absolutely. Yeah, of course. I'll be backstage. Too emotional after the fight. At WTF, these judges got safe spaces. That's something I've heard. That's all. Charles Bronson says he signed a contract to fight Moraes in slap fighting. Hopefully Moraes is done, period, in combat sports, including slap fighting. Transparency with the judges would be great for everyone. I agree. I'm glad Marlon Moraes finally hanged it up. Should be hung up, isn't it? I don't know. Hanged it up. Does that work? I just hope the damage he has taken doesn't affect his life too much. Me too. Just have 5 judges. 3 of them will get it right and cancel the bad ones. Not necessarily. We still have some pretty bad judges out there. But I'd be in favor of that, Manish. Marlon Moraes getting KO'd was sad as F. Yeah, I agree. Blake, I think with such poor judges at times, they should probably be getting drug tested, alcohol tested. Hey, it wouldn't hurt. We've heard rumors of that on the regional scene. I will always remember Moraes KOing Aljo. There we go. There's a prime example, right? We were talking earlier about fighters getting knocked out and all that, or like, one-offs. It can happen. I mean, Sterling would destroy Marlon Moraes right now. Sal Diamato getting smoked out before every fight, probably. What do you think Justin Gaethje could do differently if he fights Charles again? Maybe some more leg kicks. A little bit more wrestling, I think would help. Did you interview Jillian Robertson? Do you interview Jillian Robertson? Yeah, I usually interview her before most of her fights. I know her quite well. 7 KO loss streak is wild. I get Marlon is a grown man, but I could never be a coach and be okay with my fighter dealing with that much damage. Well, you know what that comes down to, ladies and gentlemen? And again, might be a little biased on this. It comes down to good management and having people around you. And it doesn't help when your manager has ties to PFL as well, and there's sort of embedded interest in him having his fighter fight for them. So go look at that. Everyone talks about the success that manager has. That was a bad move, in my opinion. He should have just stayed retired after the UFC. How's the viewing experience backstage? So it's good. We're just in the Westin Hotel in like this lobby. They have sort of this makeshift weigh-in set up. There's probably about, just looking around me right now, there's probably about maybe 25, 30 people around here, something like that. I remember watching Marlon 9-10 years ago. He got that big streak in World Series of Fighting. That he did, but, fought like Josh Hill twice. It was interesting. Do you think Zabit should return to the UFC if he wants to feel like he had so much potential? It'd be exciting to see him again. Apparently he's going to be a doctor, so I would, if I had the choice, I'd probably be a doctor. You make more money. Dustin Poirier versus Justin Card. Try and watch a long stream because it's stat card. I know someone asked me about that earlier. I think I have a wedding to go to that night. Let me double check, but I will stream it if I am around. What kind of food do you like to buy when you go to UFC fights? I don't have to buy food. They provide it with the media, so sometimes they have sushi, sometimes they have pizza, sometimes they have tacos. I will say this, the UFC is the pound-for-pound king when it comes to media food. Bellator doesn't even give you anything when you go to the events. I was struggling to ask for a bottle of water. But saying that, Bellator is great when it comes to media access, so got to give them a shout-out here too. Zabit has a diaphragm issue. Which MMA conspiracy theory do you believe in? I don't know. None come to mind. I'm not of the conspiracy theory about that whole Hamzat missing weight thing. I will tell you that, though. Any juicy behind-the-scenes stories that most people don't know about? None this week that I've heard of, but if I did, that's more for Patreon. That's why we got the Patreon. I can talk a little bit more freely on there. I believe the UFC made Charles miss weight against Gaethje. Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. James, if Dana walked up to you and said, I want you to cover Power Slap for them, would you if the pay was good? No, absolutely not. I have no interest in Power Slap. I feel like we get one Power Slap question here every time, but listen, covering MMA is a job in itself. There's so much to cover, so much to do. Just have no interest in it. And if Dana's paying me, then I lose all, it's a big conflict of interest, right? I can't have Dana paying me to do my job. I need to be doing it from another company. Then it's objective. Remember 3 years ago when everyone was calling Marlon the best 135er before the Cejudo fight? Man, he really fell off a cliff. Well, there was reason to think that. He was knocking everyone out. New to weigh-ins, should have assumed Fugitt had a bad weight cut with this delay. It is weird that he's not here and everyone else is weighed in, so I think that's fair to assume. What else do we got? Let's see. Yeah, still no sign of Adam Fugitt right now. Thoughts on Daniel Cormier saying Jim Miller isn't Hall of Fame worthy? Yeah, we talked about this earlier. It's a bad take. Don't agree with it at all. Jim Miller is an absolute Hall of Famer. Feel like Nate the Train can beat Dan Ige. Very excited about that fight. This will be a step up for Nate. My issue with Nate and Dan is that Nate, I think, has a lot of success when he's able to finish fights. I know he did go the distance with Onama, but I think Dan Ige is a far better fighter than Onama. You've got to add in the fact that Ige is extremely durable. He's fought better competition. I just think Dan wins that everywhere. I like Dan in that fight a lot. I love Nate the Train. If you guys have been following my career for a while, I've interviewed Nate when he was on the regional scene. I interviewed Nate when he was in M1. Him and I go way back. I've actually met him for the first time this week. Really, really nice guy. But I think Dan Ige beats him everywhere. And I think the only way Nate would win is a decision, and I just don't even think that would go his way. I think Dan Ige has too much volume. He would end up winning there. Anything you hate about covering events live? I think the only thing I wish is, like I said, they brought back the one-on-ones. That's probably the only thing that I don't like. Maybe the only other thing is you got to get here really early because they have a sign. Oh yeah, here's one little tidbit behind the scenes for you guys. So here, unlike the Vegas, Vegas they have it too. Here they have assigned seating. So I have to get here earlier than everyone else because I'm not a big shot, working for Junkie or fighting or any of these places. So I don't have assigned seating. So I have to get here early because basically after assigned seating, it's whoever can get get there first and you get a good seat. So luckily I've had good seats this week because there hasn't been a huge media turnout, but in Vegas sometimes I don't get good viewing. That's another reason why I don't go to the press conferences or the ceremonial weigh-ins is because I'm in the very back and it just even though I have a really good lens that can zoom in on everything, it still doesn't look that good. It's not a good viewing experience. So it's why am I putting all this effort into something that A, is not going to view very well, B, I can't even get a good shot. It's just not an ideal experience. So that's a little bit more of some things that I don't like when it comes to the events. But as far as being able to drive in and cover this event, that's awesome. I had breakfast at home this morning. Got to see my son this morning. I got him up. It was good. Besides MMA media, are there Americans flying in to watch this pay-per-view? Not that I know of. I haven't really talked to any fans or anything this week. It's mostly been local people. All right, keep the questions coming, everyone. And again, if you do me a big solid, hit that like button if you like this video.
Let me shoot it. Let me fire a text real quick, and I'll get back to you.
It's funny for the people that care about this type of stuff. My mom just texted me. My mom's taking my kids this morning. My mom just texted. My mom just texted me some photos of my kid. He's got sports day today, so he's on Team Blue. So my mom just sent me a bunch of photos. My kid's wearing these crazy glasses and stuff. So it's cool that I'll be able to see my son after this, which is great. All right, guys, sorry about that. I'm still here. I just had to quickly do something here that could not involve me to do multitasking. Let's get to the rest of your questions here. Keep them coming, by the way, guys. Really appreciate it. Let's go through these here. Are Vancouver women hot? Absolutely. I think we got some of the most beautiful women in the world here. Khalil Dawkins got rescheduled to August. Do you think the fight will actually happen, or is this the fight I want to happen and not get canceled again? Yeah, I don't know what happened. There was an injury to Dawkins. I'm not sure. I think that was the rumor. So, yeah, I'm sure it'll happen. Did you take Charles or Dariush? MMA Joey, you know me well enough. Who do you think I took? Come on. You've been watching my content long enough. Who do you think I took? Did you see what Costa said about Izzy? No, I didn't. Let me know. I'm picking Dariush to win, but this will be a tough fight. I can go 50-50. I agree. Good for you, James. Family first. Yeah, listen, that's what it's about, guys. It's trying to be that balance of being a good reporter and being a good dad and husband and all that, Not one of these guys that's married to my job. I love my job, but, it's got to have a good balance there. Keep the questions coming, everyone. Just got to reply to this message here. I'm trying to multitask here as well. Guys, once again, apologies for having to multitask here, but I'm back. Keep your questions coming. Let's get as many as you can in. Can be MMA related or not. You guys know we do it, all that as well. Okay, here we go. Back to your questions here. Okay, good for you, James family first. Hopefully Canadian judges will be as good as the Canadian weigh-in guy. Absolutely. What's up, Gabriel? How are you? Is Sean Strickland there? No, Strickland can't get into the country. He's got a criminal record. Favorite food? Steak. Medium rare steak. Do you have a favorite weigh-in moment that stood out to you, whether it was an intense moment where a fight almost happened? Trying to think of one. Nothing coming to the top of my head. I probably got to revisit more things like that so I have better answers for you guys. I hate to be boring here, but yeah, just off the top of my head, nothing really standing out. Yeah, can't think of anything right now. What do we have here? Costa basically says Izzy uses African rituals to win his fights. Yeah, you can't be saying stuff like that. Patrick, minor injury to Dawkins forced him to be rescheduled. Source Chris Dawkins. Now there we go. Thanks for that, Patrick. Do you think Chris Weidman retires if he loses his next fight? Yes, I do. I would assume Oliveira. We've both been big believers in him. I'm confident Oliveira gets it done. There we go, Joey. We're on the same page. I love it. After our back and forth on Colby for the last month, we finally come to terms on something. I'm joking, of course, but yeah, I like Oliveira here. I think he's being overlooked a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. 50-50 fight. I wish I could go to a UFC event. Unfortunately, the smoke from Canada has kept me inside for weeks. Just kidding. Where do you live? Tashina? Charles definitely can win. People should not count him out. I agree, 50-50. I hear the Full Send podcast reporter. Personally like his content as well. Oh, he's awesome. Yeah. OG Shawnee Mack right next to me. Really good guy. He's from here, too. Hope you don't mind me asking those hypothetical fight questions, just like hearing your takes. No, it's fine. It's all good. I only went to Diaz Masvidal. It was fun. Oh, I was at that card, too. Manish, we could have met back then. You went to the BMF title fight? It's way too much money. I could have never bought a car or something. Yeah, luckily I didn't have to pay anything because it was all covered by the media company I was working for. Am I crazy for taking Aldana by KO? I got told so for taking Frivola by KO to Dober. She's got a puncher's chance, but when was Irene's? I mean, I know Irene finished her last fight. There was an up kick though, wasn't it? When was her last, I think Ketlin Vieira was her last knockout, right? Solid knockout? Oh no, Yana Santos. Yeah, she's got a puncher's chance, right? But I don't know. When was the last time Nunes was TKO'd? I know she got knocked down by Pena. That was a submission, but you have to go all the way back to the Zingano fight. I don't know. Could happen. I wouldn't count it. I wouldn't discredit it by any means. I always like the Jones versus DC weigh-ins. Jones wanted to always fight. That's true. Oh, you're from Texas. Cool. Never been. Colby loses to Leon. Where does he go from there? He probably retires. Because, who's he going to fight? Or who would he want to fight? What's up, my man? Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, Antoine. No lie, my dog has been sick from the wildfire smoke. Oh, really? Yeah, I know you guys are getting it pretty bad over there. When we had the wildfire smoke here in BC, which I think we get once a year, I would keep my cat inside. I didn't want him inhaling that, so got to keep care of my sidekick, Fuji. He's a great cat. I saw him this morning. He wished me well. Okay, what else do we got here? Keep the questions coming, everyone. What else do we have here? Would you want them to bring back the gold canvas for UFC 200 or UFC 300? No, it was kind of hard. I didn't think it looked very good. I don't know what you guys think. I think a dark gold would look better. I don't know what you guys think. But that bright yellow just looked weird. Especially if the fighters from Brazil and then the yellow kind of blends together. I don't know. No question, Colby retires and tries to fight Dustin. He isn't fighting newer guys. Well, he'll never fight Dustin. I don't think Dustin would ever give him the opportunity to do that. Strickland has a criminal record. I think he had a DUI or something. I can't remember. But I just know that he's not. Chris Curtis told me in our interview, you can watch it on this channel, that Strickland can't get into Canada. Something to do. I don't know if he got arrested or anything, but I think it might have been or no, he would have been arrested for something then. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know he can't get into Canada, and that's per Chris Curtis. Colby turns into Biden supporter after losing to Leon. Could you imagine? No, that would never happen. You know what's interesting, though? And again, we don't get too political on this show here, but if you guys have kind of noticed in the U.S., because I follow a lot of American politics, there's been a divide in the Republican Party between the people that are on Ron DeSantis' side and Donald Trump. So Colby supporting Trump, there's got to be some Republicans who don't like Colby now because people don't like Trump, right? There's kind of that divide there. So it's kind of interesting what's happening, that Colby kind of had to hitch his wagon to Trump anyways. He was, got the photos with him and all that stuff. So it doesn't surprise me there. But I think that's kind of interesting that Colby's actually probably losing some fans because there's going to be people that support Ron DeSantis as well, right? My town in New Jersey was covered in smoke 2 days ago like a yellow haze. Yeah, we had it too here. Like I said, it would look like orange. What do you think about DC saying Miller doesn't deserve the Hall of Fame? Man, I feel like I'm a parrot here. I've been asked this like 4 times this morning. What do you think? I think it's a bad take, personally. Keep the questions coming, everyone. Hit that like button. I'll be here as long as I need to be. Hey, Aaron. The way it works, is it an hour left or an hour and a bit? I always forget. Is it an hour left, or is it like for Fugitt to weigh in, or is it an hour and a bit, or is it an hour and a half? I always forget. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay, sure. All right, I'm back, guys. I'm sure you heard me talking to Aaron Bronstetter, double checking that the weigh-ins still only goes on an hour. So we're still waiting for Adam Fugitt. Come on, Adam. You're holding all of us up here. What are the implementation of the cup? Do you think balls are safer as a whole? Yes, I do. As someone who's played hockey and had to wear a cup, I completely agree with that. In America, there are way more supporters for Trump than DeSantis. I've seen kind of a split, actually. Could be wrong, though. I'm a Canadian, right? Masvidal doesn't know what to do. Yeah, I mean, he's running his promotion. Do you think Fugitt is trying to steal some shine here, or he's struggling to cut the last few pounds? I doubt he's trying to steal the shine. He's probably struggling. Who do you think should be in the UFC Hall of Fame? I think Anthony Rumble or Chael Sonnen. Yeah, maybe Sonnen. I don't know about Rumble Johnson. He's had a couple title fights that he lost, but he's entertaining. Just want to say Dustin beats Justin again, but Justin looked really good against Fiziev, so it's tough to pick. Kind of how I think too. Overall thoughts on the Lockney KO? Was it a fluke? Pinedo is that good, or just Lockney worse than we thought? Nice KO. No, it's not that he's worse than we thought. I won't call it a fluke. I'll just say anything can happen in a fight. Like anyone can get knocked out at any point. Except Max Holloway. I kid. Honestly, I'm voting third party. These politicians are a mess. Who do you think would be headliner for UFC 300? I don't know how many people ask me this all the time. I have no idea. When is UFC 300? It's next year, right? It's way too tough to say who would be around. March of next year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be on that card. How's the overall vibe in Vancouver with the UFC in town, considering it's a week pay-per-view? I couldn't really tell you because I've only really been at the media stuff. I think it's been all right. I've seen some people at the hotel waiting around for fighters and stuff, but not a really great indication. I will say it's getting some decent local coverage here. I've seen a couple of the outlets and a couple of the local stations covering it, so I would say good, not great. DeSantis is popular in Florida, but that's it. Trump is still the guy in the base, but Colby won't lose fans because they all like Trump. That's true. Adam Fugitt about the weigh-ins. Craig, that's a dad joke, man. It's not bad. What's up? I Hertz 27. Thoughts on Oliveira being 154 when Dariush was 156? My thoughts are people had it wrong. Again, I bet you I saw a few people talking about, oh, Charles is for sure going to miss weight based off nothing. Someone missed weight. No, they didn't. Adnan. I didn't know Strickland couldn't get into Canada. Yeah, Chris Curtis mentioned that in our interview. Otherwise, I'm sure Curtis would have been here. Strickland would have been here. I mean, does it surprise you? Strickland's kind of a wild guy, right? By the way, when I put my mic close like this, is it too loud? It's weird because when I test out the mic using my headphones into this adapter, it sounds too loud, but then when I look on my OBS, it's like normal, so it's hard to say, because I'm running 2 microphones, that's why. I think it was a bit dumb to cut extra 2 pounds. Yeah, but it's just about making the weight. Who cares if he was? I don't think he was intentionally trying to make 154. I think it's just the weight came off enough. You have to hit in that range, so I don't think it's dumb. He looked fine. Is it true that Curtis and Strickland are neighbors? It is true. Yeah. Tashina, I don't know what you're talking about. Pena said that she made Nunes relevant. Well, don't listen to Pena. Come on, we all know that's BS. Strickland not woke enough. No, it's because he can't get in. Strickland fought and won in 2018 in Moncton, New Brunswick. Did he really? 2018? What card was that? I'll have to go look it up. Well, maybe Curtis is wrong, but I know, I'm pretty sure if he was able to get in here, he would be here. And like I said, Curtis mentioned in the interview that he can't get in. Maybe that's just because he didn't renew his passport or something. I don't know. 2018. He fought... Oh, right. It would have been a UFC card. UFC Fight Night 120? No, that was Norfolk, Virginia. You said 2018, huh? Oh, UFC Fight Night 138. That's right. That was in Moncton. Okay. Well, maybe something happened between now and then. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but he's not there. Why you think Oliveira KOs Benny? I already explained why in my breakdown. Why are you hostile? You always come on these chats and start crap, man. I don't know why you do that. Don't like the content, don't watch. Smith Ozdemir card, that's right. I don't know, Paul, that's not a good joke. You need to work on your jokes a little bit better. Yeah, I know. We got Fight Night Picks and Joey. We got some royalty here in this chat, as far as I'm concerned. 2 of my favorite streamers. I wouldn't even call them streamers. I'd call them members of the media. That's what I like to say. To me, if you're a content creator, you're part of the media, as far as I'm concerned. Both do great jobs. Go check them out. Fight Night Picks and MMA Joy. What was your favorite time attending a UFC fight? Oh, man, there's so many. You know, it was one of my favorite cards to cover was the Buffalo card. Daniel Cormier and Rumble Johnson. Gegard Mousasi fought Chris Weidman. That card was great because that was the first time I think I got to interview Gegard in person. And you guys know me. He's my favorite fighter. Keep the questions coming, everyone. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Again, we're still waiting for Adam Fugitt to weigh in. Everyone else has made weight, is weighing in. Yeah, hopefully he comes soon because I want to get on with my day. Also, I'm going to put timestamps in the description later. Just not right now. I got to go do a radio hit after this, and then, yeah, so I'll do that later if you guys have missed it. No, man, hey, Adnan, you've written other stuff on here kind of being a bit of a troll, so I take note of things like that. The question you asked earlier was fine, but like I'm saying in general, you've said some stuff on here that I don't get, man. I don't get why people watch stuff they don't like. I'll never understand that. I think Fight Night Picks and the Weasel have the best fight breakdowns. I agree, and Dan Tom as well does some great jobs. Hate to see Charles lose back-to-back, but I want Dariush to win because he deserves the title shot. Such mixed feelings on this fight. I think a lot of people feel the same way. Hype. Shout out to Fight Night Picks. Hope all is well. Oh, it was great. Yeah, it's awesome. Trying to see. Oh, they got Beneil back there doing an interview with the UFC or some outlet there. Got to head out. Have a good day and good time at the fights. I appreciate that. It's all good, Adnan. Just making sure, you know. That's why I didn't block you or anything. I think there's hope here for you to pull you around here. I just I don't really understand people that like come on and want to troll or say stupid things and stuff. And you've said a few things. That's why I'm acknowledging it here. I'm not mad. I'm not getting upset or anything. Just acknowledging the people that say some stupid things sometimes. That's all. But you seem like a reasonable guy, so we'll keep you on here. It's all good. JJ Jots, you're the man. I appreciate that. Right back at you, JJ. In a fantasy world, I would want Benny and Charles to be a draw, neither loses stock, and hopefully get title shots. Yeah, or what you would want is Charles winning a controversial decision that could have gone either way. Yeah, maybe I guess a draw would be, yeah. But then if they get a draw, then for sure they're going to go with Dustin, and Dustin is the next one, I think. So it's tough to say. Listen, that's part of fighting it. I mean, there's always fights like that. Like Imavov and Curtis is a fight where I don't want anyone to lose. They're both coming off losses. I'd like to see, I like both guys a lot. It's the nature of fighting. It's not a kind business. Let's keep the questions coming, everyone. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in here. We're about at like an hour and 12 minutes. Majority of the weigh-in stuff has happened already. You guys can go rewind this stream and see how people looked on the scales and all that. So I appreciate that. Looks like my Wi-Fi's holding up, which is awesome. Have you played with Anders yet? No, I don't think we're going to get to do it. I was supposed to do it after media day, and then he was training too late. Like he was going to be done at like 8 o'clock, and I had to get back because my mom was looking after my kids, and she'd been with them all day, so I had to get home. So I wasn't able to do it then, but I was able to get playing NHL 94 with Mike Malott, so if you saw that as well. Do you think 0-4 in Canada for Charles is getting to him? No, I think that's a pointless stat. I mean, I shouldn't say it's pointless. I think it's something, you can bring up, but I think it has zero effect on this fight. Doesn't matter where he's fighting. It's just fights didn't go his way. It would happen to anyone. It just so happens that it's happened 4 times to him here. What's the dream fight in the UFC that you always wanted but never happened? Jones and Ngannou, or before that, Cain Velasquez, Fedor Emelianenko. Just have this feeling Benny loses and we all are heartbroken. Well, heartbroken for him, but happy for Charles. That's how I look at it. I want Dariush to win because he deserves the title shot. Wouldn't mind seeing Charles victorious. I think a lot of people feel that way. Be right back and remind Belbita to weigh in. Yeah, I've seen a couple comments. You're a fan of Belbita, huh? She's a good-looking gal. Hi, James. Big fan. Who do you think Islam will fight next between Connor, Chandler, Oliveira, Dariush, Poirier, Gaethje? Depends what happens here. I appreciate you tuning in, man. So Islam is going to most likely fight. It's this scenario I think is going to happen. If Dariush wins tomorrow night, he's going to get the title shot. If Oliveira wins tomorrow night, the winner of Gaethje and Poirier will fight, and then Oliveira will fight the winner of that. That's my prediction. Mike Malott versus Ian Gary. Who do you got? I don't know. I think that's 50-50 because we haven't seen Malott outside the first round, really. I mean, if I got to pick, I'll go Malott, Canadian, but it's 50-50 fight. I like both. We'll be happy for the winner and sad for the loser, regardless of the results. That's about Oliveira and Dariush. I agree. It's a tough business, everyone. It's tough business. Waiting on 2 still to weigh in. Who's left to weigh in? No, just waiting on 1 to weigh in. Adam Fugitt. Do media members get frustrated when the last weigh-in drags out? Yes. As much as I love talking to you guys, it'd be good to get this thing going. So Adam Fugitt, come on, man. If Benny loses, I'm not sure what's next because Dustin won't fight him and him and Justin are friends. Well, Dustin won't fight him now, but what if he loses against Gaethje? He might not have a choice. We'll see. Do you think Charles looked bad on the scale? It seems like people got carried away with the guy looks a bit drained. Didn't look bad at all. Again, I laugh when I see these people like taking weigh-in photos, dissecting things, saying like again, I saw a video yesterday where someone's like, Charles for sure is going to miss weight. Based off what? Because he looked a little drained at media day. He always looks drained. He made 154. I hope those people who said that eat their words. Because to me, it's just like, you're guessing. You're guessing at stuff like that. Hope you enjoyed the pay-per-view. I will, Billy. I appreciate it. Anakin, seeing that Weidman said he wants to do a leg kick when the fight begins versus Brad is very risky for him to do, but I hope Weidman can pull off the word compared to his fight versus Hall. Again, though, we don't know how Weidman's feeling. We don't know what the doctors have told him. We don't know how the leg is. I don't even know. Does he have like a steel thing in there? I don't even know what the deal is there. So it's tough to say, like, is it going to be bad or not? Like, I think when it comes to like, body stuff like weight cuts or like injuries, like I'd refer to a doctor about that as opposed to like guessing. But I think it's a fair point too. Yes, Annie, the knitter, it is at welterweight, so Adam has to make weight. But Adam's never missed weight in the UFC, so I'm not sure what the holdup is here. Let's see what we got. Keep the questions coming, everyone. Oh, did you guys see what Sean Strickland just posted on Twitter? He's making fun of Marvin Vettori. They train together, so it's just a joke as well. Most fighters look dehydrated during the weigh-ins. Exactly. I like Weidman, but this doesn't end well. Against Tavares? I think you guys are overvaluing Tavares big time. Tavares is a good fighter, but I think it's a very strategic move from the UFC here. If he was fighting like Chimaev or like, I don't know, who's got a lot of KO power in that weight class. Let me just look at the rankings here real quick. Like, I think Tavares is a generous offering from the UFC here. They could have given him some up-and-comer, some killer. They could have given him Abus. I would have been more worried about that fight. Abus has got some knockout power. There's a good example. Even him fighting like a Chris Curtis, like, I think that's far more riskier than Tavares. Tavares is like a good, well-rounded fighter, but he doesn't really excel in any area, you know? Well, especially not now at his age. Pity Jillian Robertson isn't in this card. More pity that you spelled Jillian with a J, Paul. I'm just kidding. She's a very good Canadian prospect at strawweight. Yeah, I don't know. I think the card just got filled up, and Jillian fought like not that long ago. I'll tell you what else is a pity. Lupi Godinez trains here, or lives here. She should be on this card. Jamie Lynn Horth is from Squamish. She should have been on this card. We have no local BC fighters on this event, but there's only, I think, one right now, and that is Jamie Lynn Horth. I don't think there are any fighters from BC in the UFC anymore. So there you go. Do you think both Benny and Oliveira avoid takedowns and just stand up? Tough to say. Saw Sean and Marvin choke out Steve-O, and Steve will do it on a YouTube video. I saw that too. Were you surprised that no BC fighters are on this card? Yeah, a little bit, but I guess the timing wouldn't have worked out. Like there was only BC, like they could have signed like a Jamie Siraj or something, but Jamie hasn't fought in a couple of years. He's had the health issues, so there's that. But yeah, I think Jamie Lynn Horth, it would have been good to have her on this card, but the card filled up pretty quickly. You know, the UFC has to get stuff done in advance, so it was cutting it too close with her fighting Haley Cowan. But it would have been nice to see her on here. You know, Cole Smith, who used to be in the UFC, is, I guess, technically Jamie's brother-in-law because she's engaged to Cole's brother, who's her coach, Casey Smith. Cole got a great reception when he fought here last time against Miles Johnson in a fight that he actually ended up losing. First time in a long time, what time do you think Adam will turn up? Haha, Spencer, who's right behind me. I like how Spencer put this in the chat and didn't just ask ahead of me. But if I had to guess what time Adam's going to come, I'll say he'll come in the next 10 minutes. I'm optimistic. Is GSP around? No, I haven't seen him. GSP's doing a local sports show here, Donnie and Dolly. Does Lupi train in Mexico now? She does, yeah. She's full-time at that gym. I don't think she's there now, though. I think she's here this week. But she'll still live here but do her camps in Mexico. Who's left to weigh in? Adam Fugitt. Yeah, there we go. Sports Fanatics knows what's up. All right, everyone, keep the questions coming here. Appreciate the chat. Still waiting for Adam Fugitt. I'm going to definitely give him a hard time in our next interview about coming in late here. Would you like to see GSP, Bassroot, and become future commentators for the UFC? Yeah, sure. Switch it up. I'd be fine with that. All right, guys. Still waiting for Adam Fugitt to weigh in. Hopefully he'll be here soon. Oh, they just announced Lupi Godinez. I was just talking about her earlier. She's going to fight Sam Hughes. September 16th. Good for Lupi. All right, everyone. Keep the questions coming, everyone. Wow. MMA Mania just posted 5 years ago today, UFC 225, Whitaker Romero 2. That was also the Colby Covington and Rafael dos Anjos interim title fight. And CM Punk Mike Jackson. Time flies. So what are the emotions in the room? I don't know. That reporter's not here. I'm in the lineup to meet Dana. Oh, where is this? Is that for the full send thing? In the USA, the most distant cities, maybe New York, New Orleans, San Francisco. What are the most distant cities currently in Canada? Toronto, Montreal. Yeah, they're pretty far. All that, East Coast. Who's on commentary for Saturday? No Rogan. I think it's Anik Felder. In a fantasy scenario, if GSP came back, who would you want to see him fight? Ooh, I wouldn't want to see him fight because I think he made the right move retiring. But if we're talking like prime GSP, I think him and Colby would be interesting. Maybe him and Usman. We're having prime Usman. Loopy going to crush Sam Hughes. We'll see. I feel like maybe they fought on the regional scene. Or maybe I'm getting her mixed up. Let me just double check here. Because Loopy fought Jamie Lynn Horth on the regional scene, I believe. Just looking here. Because Sam Hughes is originally she used to live in the Pacific Northwest here. Yeah, she did. She fought Sam Hughes to a draw. She actually fought her in her amateur career twice. So I'm going to note that little tidbit here. All right, we are back, everyone. Had to tweet something out. I can't tweet and talk on the mic at the same time. Not as versatile as I need. Forgot about CM Punk and Mike Jackson. Yeah. Yeah. If the UFC, didn't Dana say they never do gimmick fights? That's the definition of a gimmick fight. Oh, distinct, not distant. Sorry, I read that wrong. Still early. I need my coffee. Most distinct cities in Canada are Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, 100%. Mike Malott should have headlined the prelims. No, I think they should have put Anders and Barriault as headlining the prelims and put Curtis and Imavov on the main card. Crazy that Punk was headlining 2 cards. He had so much height. He didn't headline the cards. He was just on the pay-per-view. Colby wins the title. How do you see him matching Islam? It'd be interesting. Islam wouldn't have a lot of the size and strength that he has, but probably, I don't know. I don't know who wins that fight. Do you think GSP that fought Bisping could have kept going at 185? No, I think he would have lost eventually. I like the BMF belt. What's your take on it? I don't. I think it's kind of pointless, and I don't think you need to do title fights headlining UFC pay-per-views. I think if the fighters are big enough, like they are in the case of Poirier and Gaethje, I don't think you need to do it. Do you think Loopy's sisters enter the UFC eventually? I don't know if they're doing... I haven't really been paying attention to them. Maybe. I want to go whale watching in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, it's fun. Do I think that DC's comments on Jim Miller were disrespectful? No, it's his take. He's fair. He's entitled to it. I don't think it was disrespectful. Do you think that if Bisping never got hit by Vitor in the eye, Bisping could have fought more in the UFC, maybe way more in championships? Maybe. Yeah, I would think so. Even though Oliveira's fighting style seems a favorable matchup for Beneil, I think Charles will get the job done. Had the same feeling when Gaethje fought Fiziev, even though Fiziev's a more talented striker. Okay, well, that's good. King James, even Bisping knew his prime has passed. Yeah, it was very interesting UFC career for Michael Bisping. I think people forget that Tim Kennedy beat Michael Bisping in Quebec. I remember that. Dana, who's got the first question? Morgan, can you describe what the emotions are like right now? We don't need to keep ragging on this. I brought it up yesterday just as like a little tidbit, and now you guys are like going on it. Again, I like him a lot. I just he does seem to ask that. In fact, if you guys are drinking at home watching a press conference, you could play a drinking game of the amount of times that are asked, what are the emotions like? How are you feeling? Those types of things. I don't usually start with that. Yeah, I would normally like going with like, hey, you coming on a losing streak and you just won this fight. Is there a weight lifted off your shoulders? You know, something a little bit different. But I'm not saying this as if I'm some sort of expert. I'm just a guy who, you know, just giving his opinion. If the UFC decides to make 165, who do you think is going to be the top contender in the division? Like who's big at lightweight and small for welterweight? I think Colby could make 165. I think he would be up there. Maybe Islam. Islam's cuts a decent amount of weight. Kevin Lee would be good for 165, but not that I think he'd win a title or anything. I think he's taken too much damage, been off for a while, had too many injuries. That's just my thoughts on it. Izzy would love that game. Yeah, you'd probably be drunk by the end of the press conference. What do we got here, everyone? Thought the reasons the UFC hadn't put the BMF belt on the line for 3 years was because they had released it. It was silly. Was surprised to see it make a comeback. Same with me. And also, is it like, are they doing BMF belts for every weight class? Like, I don't get that. Because I'm pretty sure after Masvidal won, they're like, yeah, we're not going to do it anymore. And then out of nowhere, they're like, oh yeah, this is the BMF belt. Wasn't hyped for this card at all until the presser yesterday. Yeah, Mike Malott definitely was a highlight of that presser. I'm excited for his fight. Wow, this just in. Crypto.com is shutting down their institutional exchange in the United States. A big sponsor of the UFC. This just in from John Nash over at Bloody Elbow. All right, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. I can't believe you guys are hung out here for an hour and 30 minutes. This is awesome. And you're just looking at an empty weigh-in screen, so I appreciate it. I can't turn the camera around, but who really wants to see me anyways? You guys see enough of me during the week. Just waiting here for Adam Fugitt. Come on, Adam. What's going on? Should I DM him? Should I tell him to hurry up? No, I won't do that. That's kind of mean. Gotta charge my phone. I'm due for a new phone upgrade here pretty soon, but my phone keeps draining the battery. It just gets drained so much. But that's why I brought a power bank with me. So again, can't multitask here. Gonna try and hook my phone up to the power bank right now as I'm talking to you guys, because I don't want to lose any power. Just 1 second here, guys. Let me ask you guys this question. Would you guys be open to me doing a live chat during weigh-ins for pay-per-views? Is that something you guys would want, kind of like we're doing here, although you'd see me and not see the weigh-ins because I wouldn't be at the event? I mean, I'll do one for 290. I'll be doing this exact same format, live stream and all that stuff. But I'm thinking like 291, like around there. If you guys want me to do more of these live weigh-ins, I could do that. Just depends on my schedule. But Fridays are usually a little bit lax for me. I don't usually schedule any interviews on Friday. Let's see. Do you think Masvidal loses devalued the BMF belt? No, I don't think it mattered. Nate or Ige? I like Ige in that fight. Man is probably dying in the sauna and gets a text from James like, hurry up, you're wasting my time. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm not that much of a jerk. What type of phone will you get for the upgrade? Whatever the next Samsung is. I am totally pro Samsung. And you want to know why I'm pro Samsung and not iPhone? Because iPhone likes to do everything on their own terms. I think I think the phones are better in terms of like processing speed and all that stuff. They're great, but I'm an Android guy because I like to be able to customize my phone, and Android's way better for that than Apple. Like I have an iPad, the amount of stuff I have to do just to get like my own, TV episodes or movies on that thing is so hard to do. And the only reason I have an iPad instead of an Android tablet is because the Android tablets suck. They all suck. That's a little tidbit for you guys. If you're ever looking to get an iPad, get a tablet, go Apple for that. But for phone, I've been happy with my Samsung. I've had Samsung forever. I used to be an iPhone user, got off of that years ago, and I've been with Samsung ever since, and I love it. I think Samsung's awesome. I'm going to say yes to any kind of stream, but that's just me. Okay, cool. Yes, the weigh-in shows are all terrible. Okay, I appreciate that. Samsung 23 Ultra 5G is the way to go. Yeah, I don't like getting I would probably not get the Ultra. The Ultra phones are bigger. I hate phones that are like almost looking like a tablet. The smaller the phone, the better. Back in my day, everyone, we used to have phones that were a lot smaller, and I kind of prefer it that way. I don't need a big screen. I only really use my phone for work and stuff, so I don't watch like movies and stuff on it, so I don't need a big phone. Love Samsung. I'm using their stuff since 2012. Yeah, Samsung's great, except for two things. Their tablets suck, and their fridges suck. I have a Samsung fridge. I'm ready to throw that thing out the window. Although that would be tough to do because my fridge is pretty heavy. But yeah, Samsung makes terrible fridges. Ours broke down, and I had to like go on YouTube to figure out how to fix it. Where in Canada are you from? I live here. I live here in Vancouver. Watch the Malaysian fight documentary after hearing you talked about it. Oh, the flight documentary. Crazy stuff. Yeah, that's a conspiracy I'd like to dig into a little bit. Like I said, maybe we'll do like a non-sports podcast sometime, and we can talk about that type of stuff. The more pre and post shows you do, the less I need to watch MMA fighting, so it's a win for everyone. I appreciate that, man. But they do a good job there too. The Ultra 5G is bulky because of the battery. Yeah, I don't want one of those. It's funny. My wife and I are kind of the opposite that way. My wife likes like she watches a lot of TV on her phone, so she likes the bigger phones. I don't. I like something small that I can fit in my pocket. It's much better. I have a Samsung washer and dryer. It's not good. Yeah, I have an LG for that. At least I made the right choice there. What happened? The only reason I have a Samsung phone anyways is because when we moved into the house, it was there already. It's a good fridge. It's just it always has issues. Like there are times when it just won't cool. It's crazy. Have you ever been to Europe? I've been to Ireland. That's the only place I've been into Europe-wise. I'd like to go more. I'll do more traveling once my kids are older, but I love traveling. It's definitely like a priority of mine. But yeah, mainly just in North America. There's still places in the U.S. I haven't visited before. Like I've never been to Florida. I'd love to go to Florida. I'd love to go to Hawaii. I've never been there either. There's a few places in the U.S. I want to hit. Been to a lot of different places in the U.S. though. Chicago, love that city. Been to New York a bunch of times. New Orleans, one of my favorite cities. Had a great time there. Nashville, went there a long time ago. Saw a hockey game there. Canucks, obviously. Been to Vegas a handful of times. You know what's crazy? The first UFC event, or first time I ever went to Vegas was for UFC 196, Connor and Nate. And now I've been to Vegas. I go every year, and I love Vegas. Vegas is great. I'm not even like a gambler or like anything like that. I just like going. There's always stuff to do, and obviously a lot of fight stuff going on there too. Hello, mate. How's it going? How are you, Paul? I love Apple, but MacBooks are a ripoff compared to any Windows. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, so I will not get an Apple laptop. I tried using a MacBook for a while. Didn't like it. I use a Razer laptop. It's actually a gaming laptop, but it's super fast for editing and all that. So it's a little bit pricier, but it's small, it's thin. It's very nice for covering these events. That's what I'm using right now. Glad to see Aldana and Oliveira. It was great. Yeah, there we go. Are journalists in the media room all friends, or do you have beef? No, we're all buddies. I don't think there's anyone here that has beef. I can't speak for anyone else, but I don't have beef with anyone. If your son wanted to fight when he was older, would you be cool with it? I'll support whatever my son wants to do. I just educate him on it. Have you ever been to Chicago? Plenty of times. I went to Chicago to see the Blackhawks play one time because Brent Seabrook, who used to play for the Blackhawks, is from my hometown. Went to Chicago to see Pearl Jam play there at Wrigley Field years ago. And then I went there for the UFC when Valentina had kicked Jess Guy's head into the crowd. If you go to Florida, don't go to Orlando, touristy types of stuff. Will do. Would you like to see Nate versus Connor Part 3 happen one more time? Sure, why not? But I don't think Nate ever comes back to the UFC personally. All right, everyone, keep the questions coming. Again, we're still waiting for Adam Fugitt to weigh in here. Okay, keep the questions coming, everyone. What else do we got here? Yeah, we're just waiting for Fugitt, everyone. Bellator next week is also in Chicago. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to cover Bellator card in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago's one of the, Chicago reminds me a bit of here, actually. A bit of Vancouver. Like, no mountains, but just like good city, not too big, clean. I like Chicago a lot. Do you have any hobbies like fishing, hunting, diving, driving, etc.? Yeah, golf. I love playing golf. I'm actually playing golf a week today with my dad. So excited to do that. And I'm playing golf on Wednesday next week, too. So I'm playing twice next week, which will be awesome. What else do I like doing? I love retro video games. That's why I played that NHL 94 with Malott the other day. That's like one of my favorite things to do. What else? Other hobbies. I go to the gym. I go for walks. I like watching documentaries. I feel like this is like a dating profile. But yeah, I got things going on outside of this. Like being a dad, like coaching hockey. I did that last night. My son's team unfortunately did not win, but we were down a few players. Once we got our players missing that came in, we actually scored a bunch. We were like down even more, but we almost came back and won yesterday. But it was a good game. My son played well. I was happy with how he played. Anyone look like they had a tough weight cut? Just Beneil Dariush, I think. I didn't think Charles looked that bad. What do you think about the golf merger? Oh yeah, that was crazy. I would have never predicted that after some of the stuff that they were saying sort of before about Live Golf. I don't know, man. I mean, it's good for the players, like they'll get paid more, but there's obviously some moral and ethical stuff going on with that too. But we'll see how it goes. Never played golf. It seems like boring. Oh, it's not. It's complete opposite. You'll get hooked if you play. If you learn how to play golf properly, and you'll get addicted. It's so much fun, and it's a great activity to do with your friends. Think about it this way, and I mentioned this on streams before. Would you rather go out with your friends and have some drinks, or would you rather go and play golf? Golf, you're getting some exercise. You can still have some drinks if you want. It's like a fun little competition. I play with a group of guys once a month. Actually, one of them is, two of them are MMA related. One of them is Jeremy Brand. He's the owner of MMA Sucka. Him and I play, and I actually do some interviews for Jeremy every month. And the other one is Jason Brooks, former MMA fighter. Actually fought Matt Dwyer in the UFC vet in Battlefield Fight League. So him and I, and then my father-in-law, we all play once a month, and it's a good time. I would recommend anybody on the stream here, if you need a hobby to pick up, golf is awesome. And look, people talk about it being expensive. You can find courses that are, maybe not as nice, that have cheap rates. Like I'm playing next week, this course that has 16 holes. It's only $36. It's not too bad. And also, you can buy a cheap set of clubs for under $500. That's what I've done. Or you can just, you can rent some if you want, but can't say enough good things about golf. But you know what, even just to start, go to the driving range. Look on YouTube. There's a bunch of tutorials on how to play golf. I've learned a lot just from YouTube videos. And you'll get addicted. And there's a lot of fighters that play golf too. I don't know if you know this. Blake Bilder, who's on this card, he told me he played a full round of golf before his last fight against Shane Young. Dustin Jacoby's a big golfer. We know DC and Gaethje are golfers. I know Jeremy Stevens, former UFC lightweight, used to golf as well. So that's my thoughts on it. Let's see, what else do we have? Hey man, Samsung A370 5G is good, budget phone, but really good and thinner phone. You can check out the specs. I'll have to check it out. Golf is great to play. I recommend it. That from Anakin. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about golf. When I go back to Ontario, which I don't know the next time I'll go back, Adam Martin and I and Cole Shelton, who are all in this industry, we like playing golf together. It's a fun activity. It's hard to find a place where I can golf. Really? There's an app. Download an app called Chrono Golf. It'll tell you the closest courses, and sometimes they'll even have deals. That's what I use when I go golfing. That's how I booked my tee time this morning. Of course, golf's filled up next week because Father's Day, right? A lot of people are going golfing with their dads like I am. So my dad and I actually wanted to play at the course that is close to my house, but it was booked up. The earliest tee time was 1 in the afternoon. My dad was like, hey, can we get an early tee time so I can still do some work? Because that's how my dad is. He's a hard worker like me. And he decided to, so we ended up having to go to a different course. Golfing today with the boys. We drink, talk crap, get sun. Golfing is the best. Exactly. Yeah. Can't say enough good things about golf. And then I find once you play golf, you want to watch a little bit more golf. I'm not hardcore golf fan. I'm definitely a casual in that regard, but I'll if they have golf on TV, I'll stop everything I'm doing and watching. Because golf's one of the few sports that looks so good on TV. Even women's golf I'll watch. It's just, because you always want to pick up little things, how are they shooting and all that. It's fun, man. I love golf. All right, guys, we got about 20 minutes left here. Still waiting for Adam Fugitt, really making us earn our keep here today. What else do we have? All right, everyone, keep the questions coming. Again, 20 minutes left. And then, yeah, basically once this is done, I got to head out. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to come up to like 2 hours on this, which is great. What else do you have as far as questions? The Disney World golf courses are really nice. Yeah, I got to check that out. I've never actually done like golfing outside of where I live, other than Ontario. But I'm hoping when my kids get older, they'll get into golf, and then we can go, like when I go on vacation, we can go golf together. I'd love to golf in Vegas, but man, the courses are expensive. Plus, when I'm there, it's usually for work, so be a real annoyance of having to bring my golf clubs and all my equipment. Because, like, you guys got to remember, I'm a one-man operation here, so I got to bring a lot of equipment. I got my camera, I've got my tripod, I've got 2 different microphones, I've got all types of wires. Like, you should see my whole setup. Maybe I'll do a video on that, showing you guys my streaming setup that I use. It's pretty complicated here. Well, I will say that... All right, everyone, keep it going. Again, we got about 20 minutes left. Get your questions in, MMA related or not. Happy to answer whatever you guys want on here. That's how I roll. Again, just waiting for Adam Fugitt, last fighter to weigh in here. Just checking through some stuff here on the channel, and I'll get back to you guys. Still waiting for Adam Fugitt, everyone. And I'll get to the rest of your questions in a second. Okay, let's see what else we have. Golf and soccer are the top of the list for most boring sports to watch. Oh, golf's not boring to watch. I disagree on that. I would put baseball as being more boring than golf, in my opinion. Does Amanda retire with a loss? Feel like she's about to lose this one? No, I don't think she'd. It depends how she loses. I don't think she'd retire. What do you think of the Wilder having to want to fight Francis in MMA and boxing for PFL? That would be interesting to see. I agree. I don't know if it'll happen, though. For $100 a year, I have access to all the Disney golf courses in Florida. Good deal. Wow, that's amazing. Was I timed out? No, you weren't timed out, Paul. How old are you? I am 38. That's why when people call me 40, I like to tell you, you're off by a couple years. Wilder just playing games. He ain't fighting Francis in the cage. Yeah, I don't think that happens, but if it did, it would be cool. As soon as Messi joined Inter Miami, their Instagram account went from 1 million to 5 million quickly. Yeah, they were talking about that on the radio today when I was coming in. It was pretty crazy. Do you think the Conor Chandler fight will happen? Yes, just not this year. Were you at the press conference yesterday? How was it? No, but I was at Media Day. I didn't go to the presser yesterday because I got enough content from Media Day. And I had other stuff to do. All right, still waiting for Adam Fugitt. Got 15 minutes less. Oh, hold on. I think we got Adam Fugitt. Just as I say that, looks like Adam Fugitt is coming on. Oh, your comments are disappearing. Oh, I don't know why that is. Okay, here we go. Looks like Adam Fugitt's coming. Okay, here we go. Adam Fugitt, just waiting for him right now. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Paul. I don't know why your comments were not showing up. That's weird. Is there anyone you can ask about what's going on with Hamzat? No one here really. That's going to give me a good answer. Will Mike Malott be off the card if Fugitt doesn't make weight? Depends how much he misses by. But I would think Mike would fight Adam at any weight, knowing him. I mean, this is such a big moment for him, so I think it would take a lot for him to turn down a fight. But fighters have that right. It depends how much he misses by. If he is going to miss, we don't even know if he's going to miss. So. Okay, final guy to weigh in, Adam Fugitt. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, let's see if he makes it here. I thought they said 173. All right, guys, time to get out of here. I'll answer these last couple questions here quickly. Let's see. Will Mike Malott? Yeah, so Mike Malott's going to fight. Seems like YouTube's a little bit buggy today. Couldn't find you until 30 minutes ago, even though I'm subscribed. Weird. Yeah, it sounded like 173, but then Anik just announced 170, so I guess he made weight. No one's saying anything, so that seems to be it. All right, guys, I got to take off here. Yeah, I got to take off, guys. So I will see you guys on Monday previewing this Strickland and, or no, not Strickland Abus. It's Marvin Vettori and Cannonier card. So I'll be back on Monday, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into this. I will talk to you guys soon. And, yeah, thanks again for tuning in. Just one last time, make sure you hit that like button before we get out of here. And I will see you guys. And keep your eyes on this channel. Tomorrow night, I'll have all the post-fight interviews coming up on this channel. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will talk to you guys on